Hello everybody! Welcome back to our commentaries here at Storyline Films. This is A-Row007.
From...
What's your name?
Oh god, I'm not ready.
I'll go ahead and introduce him.
BROWNWOOD NINJA.
Okay, alright, yes, you will. Obviously, if you clicked on this video, you figured out we're doing a commentary to The Matrix Reloaded, which BROWNWOOD NINJA is not very excited about.
My mind hurts already.
Now, obviously, if you haven't figured it out already, this is not the movie that we've put on YouTube for you to watch. So quit being an illegal hack and go buy it yourself if you want to watch it.
It's cheap as shit at fucking Best Buy, you fat cunts. God damn.
Instead, we are doing a commentary / podcast. Obviously, you can watch the movie alongside us as we talk about it. So if you do have a Blu-ray copy or a DVD, go ahead and set it up. Get it right before the Warner Brothers logo shows up. It should be completely black on the screen. And I guess I shouldn't really ask, are you ready to start, Brownwood?
Prepare to share in our pain.
Okay, so everybody start in 3, 2, 1, start.
I already have tears.
You already have tears. Now, obviously, if you've been on our channel before, you would know that Blue Wolf and I already did the first Matrix movie, and this is part of a series I wanted to do. I wanted to do the first one with Blue Wolf, the second one with BROWNWOOD NINJA, which obviously we're doing right now, and then the third I would do with Your Bus Driver whenever we get around to that. So, let's start off with a couple of questions, BROWNWOOD NINJA. What is your experience with the Matrix films?
Well, I actually really like the Matrix films, and the second one is my favorite, probably, I would say.
Yep.
Third one's really good, though, but yeah, definitely the second one's really good, but we just watched a quick, what is it, Movie Sins?
We did the Cinema Sins Everything Wrong With video, and at the time that we're recording this, they just recently posted a video for The Matrix Reloaded. And we just watched that right before doing this commentary.
It hurt.
Not the best idea.
It hurt so much. My brain couldn't keep up.
Well, you have to realize half the stuff he talks about in those videos are nitpicks.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean...
But some of it is general criticism, which of course we'll get into
right.
during the course of the commentary.
I mean, with stuff, you're always going to have errors, but I mean, there are some things that need to be fixed for certain movies I agree with, but you got to deal with some stuff.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we're going to go heavy spoilers here. We're going to spoil what happens in the movie because, of course, this is a commentary.
And you're watching it with us, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously, this is a dream sequence to start off that will end up happening in the future. What do you think about it starting here as a dream sequence?
Well, of course, it looks really cool.
Yeah. The Wachowskis always make stuff look cool.
Right.
And just like the first movie, we start off with a
Right.
cool action scene with Trinity.
Well, actually, now that I think about this, thanks to all your movie review stuff, there's really no point in the cops fighting her in the first place, because all she did was drop down in a motorcycle. There's no point in them actually trying to beat her at all.
You mean you're saying the audience shouldn't care because all the people are pretty much invincible?
No, I'm saying that part is pointless completely. There was no point, and then all of a sudden this happens. But that's just because it's Skippy and it's a dream.
Yeah.
But there was no point in the cops doing that in the first place, unless it's a dream and nothing matters. So I guess so. Yes.
Well, I think the dream sequence should have started right here, and right here we're talking about the when they dive out of the building and the agent is shooting at her.
Right.
I think they should have just started right here. That way you go, what the hell's going on? Why is she? What's happening?
Exactly. Because honestly, the other scene didn't matter at all.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Oh, I mean, it starts you off with a good action part.
And as the CinemaSins guy said, apparently motorcycles are made of C4 because it blew that whole building up.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that just because that doesn't really matter to me. I don't care about the explosions. It's more about the point of it exploding or having anything happen in the first place. But yeah. One shot.
Well, I think one thing we'll realize in this when watching this, pretty much like the first half of this movie is kind of pointless.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's really once you get into like him talking to the Oracle, that's when the plot, starts getting set in motion. But right now,
Well, I guess in some way it's kind of pulling you back to the world that they're in.
Yeah,
More
and they're showing you, what you may have missed between this
right,
and the
because
first
it
movie.
was some time afterwards.
Yeah, I think they say it's like 6 months, I think, after the first movie.
I thought they was talking about the second and third, but
Oh, no, the second and the third movie start like right together.
oh no, I meant oh okay, I didn't mean in movie time. I meant for the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Watching. It's been a while, so
One weird thing I would like to talk about. Now, the second and the third Matrix movies were made at like the exact same time. And they were released in the same year. The second movie was released in the summer of 2003. And then the third movie, I believe, was released in like October or November of 2003. Now, have you ever... I don't remember anything being done like that. Like, released that close together. Except for like... maybe Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, but that was clearly one story.
yeah, that's actually not.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's very weird. But then again, Matrix is of course a very weird concept.
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird by nature. But that's one thing I would like to point out. Like, for most supposed movie trilogies, well, not most of them, but some of them, they do the first movie, it's really successful. Then a few years later, they decide to do the second and third movies back to back. They film them together, and then they release them like a year or half a year apart.
Right.
They did that for the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie, or the second and third movies, I mean. And it makes it feel kind of just disjointed as a series, because the first one's by itself, and then the second and third ones feel like one story.
Right.
So it feels like you're getting two separate stories instead of a whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie has nothing to do with Davy Jones or the Brother in Court or anything. And I don't mean to keep talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, it's just, I find each of these trilogies are very similar in, like, the way they were made and stuff. Mm-hmm. And with this one, like, the first movie doesn't even talk about how the end of the war is this close, how the machines are drilling and stuff. But that's really what the second and third movies are about.
Right. Actually, this part was actually kind of interesting because it was kind of talking about, well, how Neo is in the dreams and how there's actual concern for each other and how kind of there's something about...
That's one thing I will say about the Matrix movies. The relationship between Neo and Trinity is very good. It's strong. Like, I actually care. And inevitably, of course, we're spoiling all three movies right now. Once you get to the third movie and she gets killed, you do feel that. It actually means something, and like his emotion and how he, experiences that is very depressing once you think about it.
Okay, let's watch this real quick.
Well, here's where they just put up some exposition about how the machines are digging and how Zion leadership wants all the ships that are out in the real world to retreat back to Zion. Actually, I think that was the biggest expectation that they could have tried to achieve or exceed, which was showing us Zion.
Right, but...
I mean, I think it works. I actually like the design of Zion and everything.
Yeah, I think it's cool, but it's over-exaggerated.
Yeah, it is over-exaggerated. And, well, a lot of people don't like it. Like, some people think it's kind of dull. There's not a whole lot going on there.
Well, yeah, but also... Well, in reality, they should have done a lot of things where they're building stuff, like machines. Like, they do show the mechs and stuff, but they don't really show, like, them building them and, like, doing all that stuff, like, being prepared for a battle. That would have been really cool.
They don't really show them preparing for the battle other than, hey, we're getting in our mech suits. And, of course, that's in the third movie.
Right, so that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But if they were, like, showing that there's actually a struggle going on and they're needing to do this, like, imagine if, like, they were sent out to go and get scraps so that they could build more stuff. Yeah. That would be something up.
It would be something.
It would be actually relatable or something like that. Or, like, oh, a scout ship got destroyed, go check it out. Or something like that. Or something's wrong. Yeah. Or blah, 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 blah. Stuff.
But, they raised this timetable. They're like, the machines are digging and they're going to be here in 36 hours, but... I don't really feel that rush,
right.
like the ticking time bomb as it were.
Well, yeah, but in a lot of movies where there's like all right, in a certain amount of days, this is going to happen. You never really feel it until it hits it, but that's kind of how in real life it kind of is.
Yeah.
Where you're not expecting it, and it's like, hey, a bomb's going to drop in 3 days.
You know, like I still got 2 days.
This bomb is mobile.
I will say that Dark Knight Rises, that is a reasonable argument. You don't really feel the ticking time bomb aspect of it until it gets to that final few minutes.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
oh shit.
Well, it's like 1 month went by.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
now,
okay.
Can you tell me why he's not Agent Smith anymore, we'll just call him Smith, why he just shows up and is he toying with Neo? Because couldn't he just come in and kill these guys and then talk to him?
He could, but there's no point. Instead, he's just doing
But there's no point to just toying with him.
Well, he could have killed him anyways and left that, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe because he's breaking out of his program and he's trying to mess with him, but then all of a sudden agents come in. See, that's kind of weird. If Smith was literally right there...
That is one thing. There are a lot of conveniences where, like, right as one thing ends, another immediately starts.
So you don't have time to think about it.
Like, right after Neo talks to the Oracle, Smith just happens to show up.
In this part. Which,
now,
I mean, this is kind of cool in some aspects.
I mean, the choreography is excellent. I love the fights.
Right.
Like, but it would work better as, like, a YouTube video all in itself, you know? Like, a 5-minute fight.
Right.
Instead of being put in the context of a movie.
As a story.
No, because Neo is so overpowered at this point, we don't fear for him getting hurt or anything, because we know he's going to kick these guys' asses.
Right. Well, actually, would have been interesting if Neo was actually messing with him, because as it is, he's so overpowered.
Yeah.
It doesn't even mean anything. He could have been like walking out while they're trying to hit him, and he's just dodging everything, and then just flies away.
Yeah. Why didn't he just fly away?
Well, of course, beat him up because all the guys aren't all the guys in there, and they could have all gotten.
Yeah. I guess the leadership is still downstairs.
Right, but he could have literally been walking away while they're trying to hit him, and he knocks them all out in like one punch, and then flies off. But instead, and then Smith comes out of nowhere.
Now, I do like this idea that Smith can take over other people in the Matrix, like other bodies, because in the first movie, I don't know if you remember when he's interrogating Morpheus and everything, and he's talking about how much he hates the humans. He talks about how they're like a virus.
Right.
They take over everything, they deplete all the resources, and then they spread. That's exactly what he is now. Which I guess is dramatic
really
irony.
Interesting right there was Neo said they were agents.
Yeah.
But then Smith comes up.
Yeah.
And one of the other agents is talking to him? Or is it a Smith?
No, that was a Smith.
So were they all Smiths?
No.
Then how...
The guys that fought him were agents.
So where'd that Smith come from? They just...
plot hole. I don't know.
Just a little.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, things just show up and it's not explained or even addressed.
Like, imagine if
it
Smith,
just happens.
If Smith walked up and all of a sudden just like did something and turned them all into Smiths, and then like figured out what's
like if
going
the
on.
agents burst in the room and suddenly Smith comes in and takes them over, and then a bunch of Smiths fight Neo. Then,
well, you know that kind of happens, but
well, I mean that happens later, of course. But I'm talking about like right now,
right?
To make some sense of the plot.
Where are you? Aren't you kind of like, you
know,
you have
that's,
like
that's
God
so
mode
weird.
on?
Like he's suddenly now looking for the Oracle. Why?
And what's interesting is he's supposed to be able to see people. Oh, and I don't get this part. But anyways, he's supposed to be able to see people through in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And he can't find her?
I don't know. Well, no. Well, he can't see people through the Matrix himself.
Oh, I thought... Yeah, he could.
Well, he has the vision where he can see, like, everything through the Matrix.
Isn't she different? Because it shows that she's golden, isn't she?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't remember that.
In the third movie, I think it does.
See, that's the problem. There's too much arguing and speculation you can make about a bunch of this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't get this part. I don't get why. Why do they have to be...
the Gates of Zion, they have a program within, like... They have their own computer program where people go in and they operate all the gates and stuff.
I guess that makes sense, but you don't have to be in it.
That really feels like something they're just like, this is cool, let's just put it in here. Rather than it makes sense.
Rather than explaining it. Yeah. Like, the human mind can't actually control like it normally, so they do it in the program and they have people upgrade it. And what if they did that? What if they had training programs in there and they could have people become like Neo?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. One thing that they can't have the people that are naturally born in the real world go into the Matrix because they don't have the plugs and everything.
Right.
So
But if they're plugged in because they have to be in that program,
they're obviously people that have been freed.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah. Good point.
My head hurts more and more. But don't worry.
We're only just beginning. We still have like 2 hours of this movie.
All right. Okay. Cool little sci-fi thing with all that stuff.
I love the design of the ship. I don't know if I said that in the last commentary. I love how the ships look.
It's very unique because it's also it's actually smart because in a reality that has perfect like three-dimensional movement.
Yeah.
Which would be better in a space thing, not necessarily an air environment, but it still makes sense and it still works great. So it's actually smart and it looks cool. So fashion souls, you know.
I don't know, I just think it looks cool.
Well, sorry, that was a Dark Souls 2 reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Dark Souls 2 reference, everybody. All right.
Yeah, hit that like button if you got that. So proud of you.
Hit that like button, yeah.
I'm proud of you. Niobe?
It's Niobe.
Niobe?
You do realize the woman who plays Niobe is Will Smith's wife in real life, right?
Huh. Okay. So what's the point of her character?
Love interest for Morpheus.
That's it?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, great.
Now, here we have the kid. I don't remember what his name is. For God's sakes. Did you watch the Animatrix at all?
Nope.
Well,
it's Link. Or nope.
No,
Link's the other dude.
Link is the pilot. We'll talk about him later. But the kid, I can't remember his name. I don't think they've said his name yet. Have they?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. We have the subtitles on, so.
And we still can't even figure it out.
Yeah. But in the Animatrix, it's a series of shorts.
Right. So, actually, just want to ask, where is this kid from? Like,
he's from the Matrix.
Is he from the first movie?
No. He's from the Animatrix.
Okay, so he just shows up, but they don't really
They don't really
talk
explain.
about him.
No, well, the idea is that he found Neo in the Matrix, and Neo saved him. So that's why he's always grateful to Neo. He's like, "You're my hero."
Right. So this kind of actually sets up kind of the feeling of the other people that are actually in Zion, how they feel like Neo can save him, just like they saved this guy, which, and then.
Well, I mean, I guess that sort of humanizes that idea that Zion really likes Neo when they want him to succeed.
Jesus.
But I don't know. The kid's kind of annoying to me.
Yeah.
And especially when you get into the third movie, he's even more annoying.
Yeah.
And he ends up being a hero.
Yay! I did it.
Now here we have Commander Locke, a.k.a. douchebag. He really doesn't have much of a character. He's pretty one-dimensional. He's like, I don't believe in Neo and the prophecy and everything, even though Neo has proven he can dodge bullets and stop bullets and dive into an agent and beat the shit out of all of them.
Well, I guess that's also one of the things about with the Bible and Jesus, where a lot of people didn't believe in Jesus because they never saw his miracles.
Yeah.
And people who did were completely like, how can you not believe in him?
Yeah. I mean,
which shows right here between them.
I guess that's a good argument.
Yay. Even though it's an annoying thing, it's at least there. They could have made it less annoying. That's all.
They could have made it less obvious, been a bit more subtle about it. Because the guy's flat out like, I don't believe in false prophecies and messiahs.
Right. He could have just been like, I will not tolerate this kind of kind of disobedience from you.
If I were him, I would be like, I'm not going to rely on a fight in the Matrix. We need to fight in the real world in order to win.
And see, that's even better. That's good, because then it shows like the Matrix is kind of like a spiritual world.
Yeah. That he's not even going to accept at all.
Which actually gets more explained in this movie. Like, more things about the Matrix being more spiritual.
Yeah.
And this is more physical.
Yeah. I guess I should go ahead and address the philosophical issue of these movies. Go ahead and get that out of the way.
All right, yeah, why not?
if you are watching your own copy, odds are there are 2 other commentaries that come with the disc that you have, which one would be by the critics. The Wachowskis chose a set of critics to do a commentary for it, and the other would be 2 philosophers that they chose to do a commentary of their own. And I haven't seen their commentaries for the first film, but for the second film, the second and third films, the critics generally did not like the movies, and the philosophers generally did. And I just find it... I think I figured out the main problem with the second and third movies. With the first movie, you could just watch it as a straight-up action science fiction thrill ride, and you'd be completely fine with that. With the second and third movies, it lets you down a bit because I don't think they balance the philosophical stuff versus the action story stuff. It feels a lot more like a philosophical exercise than anything else, and I don't really want to sound pretentious by saying that, because half the stuff I don't even pick up on.
Right.
Like, half the jargon that the philosophers use in their commentary, I didn't even understand.
Right. I want to talk about this part. Right here, the white dude came in, and he was talking to the kind of douchebag
the counselor. Yeah,
the counselor dude came in and was talking to the douchebag, and the douchebag was like, don't tell the people, because if you do, there will be panic. And which is completely reasonable, but then... Oh, make out. Anyways, Morpheus was like, no, it's fine. We can tell them. Who cares? It's not like it's going to happen. Which is kind of like a... really more of a Christian thing, because that's more of like a oblivious, more like our faith is so strong it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess you could apply that to any religion. It's not just Christianity.
But it's more
But since Neo is supposed to be like a Jesus figure, it fits more with that.
Even though we have a Buddhist reference there. Yep. But anyways, and actually all religions actually are hit right there. Most are a lot of them.
That's one thing I do like about these movies. It's a great blending of different philosophies and religions from around the world.
It just matters that there is a one, not necessarily who is it. Exactly.
Or what does he represent? It's just there is a one, he is going to save us.
He is a savior, not just who is the savior.
Yeah. And you can interpret it any way you want. That's kind of what I like about it. Like what he, what religion, I guess the Matrix
and then
represents.
That was pretty interesting how Trinity is more concerned with how Neo protecting and helping the other people rather than them being selfish with each other, which is like more good on her part.
Yeah, which makes her a stronger character.
Right. She's a more mature and more knowledgeable character than...
She's wise.
Right. Whereas Neo's kind of caught up, where he's like, I need someone... Kind of like he needs someone physical, like he needs someone to know that he's actually a person, not just some hero.
Well, will end up being shown within the next 2 movies. It's because he loves Trinity that he's able to break everything in the Matrix. Right. Like he's able to break the cycle that happens with the Matrix in the real world, and he's able to overcome that because he actually put his love for humanity, focused it onto one individual.
Right. Because he could see how humanity can be through the love of a certain individual.
Yes.
Rather than...
He sees the best of humanity in her.
Right.
And God, we sound really pretentious right now.
I'm not even paying attention to what's going on, unfortunately.
Okay, let's go ahead and get
even though there's not much going on.
Get through this. Now, at the end of the first movie, Tank is the pilot for the Matrix, or the Nebuchadnezzar. Do you remember Tank?
No.
Well, it's Tank and Dozer. Dozer gets killed, Tank gets injured, but he's still alive. Now, my understanding is he asked for way too much money to be in these movies, so they just wrote him out.
Dang.
And hired this guy to play a completely different character. And Tank died under mysterious circumstances that are never explained.
They could have just said he's in the injury ward or whatever. He's in the health ward. He's just being...
Or they could have just started the movie with them flying into Zion and they had just been attacked or something.
And use a rubber doll. Alright.
I really feel like this movie just starts in the wrong place.
I kind of like this part right here because this is kind of like a normal, like almost like a kind of like a family thing.
Yeah.
Where there's someone who's concerned about someone else who's trying to like go into a religion or doing something kind of dangerous. Like a lot of things like missionary and stuff like that can be dangerous. Like if it's
they're risking their lives for the greater good.
Right. And so this is actually more of a human kind of touchy feeling. and then random scene.
Well, I like how it's just like a family scene in this epic sci-fi action movie.
Family scene. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Okay, this... I do not like this scene at all. And if you're not watching, it's the big rave scene, pretty much.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. Honestly,
cave. Doesn't the cave look fake? Doesn't it look like it's made?
It's not only that.
From a Hollywood set?
It's not only that. It's that the fact that it doesn't coincide with the type of like material in the place at all. Or the rock or anything. Like, they could have used any other, like, you know, when they're traveling around the metal junk. What if there was, like, pieces of metal sticking out and shit? Yeah. And all that. No, it's like a perfectly cut cave, except for, like, the pillars of stalactites and stalagmites. Which, and it's not even the right material. But
well, I'm fine with that. It looks really fake. It looks like they made it
on
a Hollywood
makes it
set.
Fake. If they made even the same color and made it cleared out and made it kind of junky, it would have been, like, blended in perfect.
And here's where Morpheus gives his speech that is completely kind of out of character. I mean, not exactly what he says, but like the way he says it. He's like really loud and stuff. It's very bizarre.
He's trying to be loud, of course, so everyone can hear him, of course, but
no, but just like the way he's saying it.
Right.
It's like you can be loud, but then he's like trying to go over the top with it.
Well,
we must shed our fear of it.
Well, you do realize he's kind of a very religious figure, so it's almost like he's giving like a sermon or something, where he's trying to be over the top because that's the point.
Yeah. I guess he's trying to pull up his caricature of himself in order to motivate everybody.
Right. He's like giving the pep talk at the football games.
Jeez, we're being a lot more analytical with this commentary than I think I've ever been.
My head hurts. For 100 years.
Of course, it's definitely more than that.
Right.
Once we figure out about the cycles of the Matrix.
Right. So, that's actually, once you kind of see how kind of like blindly, what if like in other cycles there were people like this who are blindly going into it the same way, and then all of a sudden it gets crushed.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Morpheus. He's blindly following the idea of the one and the prophecy.
Right.
Which at the end, once he figures out that the one is really not true, he's not meant to save everyone. He's broken by it. He's like, I don't believe you. He's in denial about it. As Plinkett would like to say, denial for a while. I'm in denial for a while.
No.
If you have no idea what I'm talking about, look up Mr. Plinkett.
You should look up Mr. Plinkett.
Greatest reviewer of our time.
If you like reviews like us, you'll love him. Even though...
No, but this part, like, I get the point. It's like a celebration of the human body and everything. I mean, I'm going off the philosopher's commentary and what they're talking about here.
Right.
But it's just so bizarre.
I remember you used to dance. I remember you were pretty good.
It's just... Hold on a
second. Yeah.
It's just one big rave. It's very... I don't know. What do you think of the scene?
Well, in some ways, it's kind of pointless, but at the same time, it's also kind of like showing that they kind of feel like they are actually going to be able to make it, which kind of shows like kind of like all their hope that they're going to actually...
You know, I mean, I get the point of the scene, and it does...
Hold on. Excuse me.
There is a point to the scene. I'm just saying it's...
Right.
It doesn't work.
There's no point really from a story-wise, except for showing that Zion now knows about...
No, I'm saying if they were going to show them celebrating and they're positive about the future and stuff, they didn't... I think it's kind of stupid the way they do it.
In reality, they only danced for like 2 seconds, and then that was it. Oh, okay, no, they'll show...
No, here's where they go full-on rave.
And see, I guess that kind of show... I'm not sure what to say. Because then it becomes more of like, not just...
We don't have to deeply analyze this movie as much as we should, probably.
I'm trying, man. Oh my gosh. Okay, I recommend that you go back and watch some people dancing in this part because they're kind of retarded.
I recommend that you skip this scene.
Watch it in slow-mo.
Watch it in slow-mo.
There's some stupid stuff. I love watching background stuff because it's so dumb.
Like if you watch Dark Knight Rises and the final fight, if you watch the cops in the background, some of them are just absolutely horrible.
Oh,
I'm punching you!
Oh, sex.
Now here's one thing that baffles me. All 3 movies are rated R.
All
but
three?
this... Yeah. But this is a PG-13 sex scene.
Yeah. But it's not supposed to be about the sex, yet they show it.
No, but I'm like, I don't understand why these movies are rated R. I mean, there's a couple of bits of extreme violence, but that's about it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just okay. Okay.
What? How have we advanced the plot at all? We know that the machines are digging. That's about it.
Okay, let me try to be analytical right here.
No, stop!
No, this is actually what... This scene, more symbolic rather than actual, like, progressing story-wise, is all the people of Zion are essentially praising or showing joy or love for their species, essentially, and growing on and being able to survive, while Neo is having joy and love for Trinity and more of his compassion towards humanity
through her.
Ah,
I actually like this scene more now.
See, there you... Oh, damn, nips. Anyways.
Is that why they made it R? The nips?
Yeah, the nips. It's a little chilly in here, Batman. Okay, but yeah, kind of that. And I guess that water flip should have been censored.
That water flip, though.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the problem with the movie. It works.
But see, it really does show that it's all sexualized.
Yeah.
When this is supposed to be kind of like a more religious kind of thing. Oh no, that was nip. That's other nip. That was a dude's nip. But yeah, and then it shows this, so it's kind of like, I'm not sure what to say. Aw, it's okay, Neo. But
that's my point. It works better as a philosophical exercise than an actual story.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Well, they shouldn't have made a film. They should have done like an avant-garde short film or something. You know?
But then no one would have watched it.
Yeah, but they should have done something else instead of like a big motion picture film, because when people go to the movies for this, they expect a story and character. Which, I mean this does have, but it's not...
They could have blended it better.
Yes, that's my point exactly. The first movie did an excellent job. If you wanted to look for the philosophical stuff, you could. You didn't have to focus on that, but you could.
Right.
For these ones, it's almost necessary to know a little bit about philosophy.
No, I don't know shit about philosophy, but you really just have to think and concentrate.
Once you get to the second half of the movie, it gets extremely important.
They might have made an arc for freaking Neo's butt right there. Jeez, that is nasty. But yeah. Alright, let's actually watch a little. Ooh, the light's going out in Zion. Ooh, alright, let's analyze
I actually
this.
do like the design of Zion. I know I already said that, but yeah. I do like this design.
Even though it's super eccentric. But it's okay.
Yes.
See, that part looks cool. Because that seems like... See, that... I'm sorry to say this, but this room, that doorway right there, contradicts all of Zion right there. Just by all of Zion looking futuristic and cool, and then having like some shit door right there.
Yeah, like the overall design of Zion looks like it's from the future, but then you go to like individual doors and stuff, and it's made out of old metal and old ship parts.
It actually would have been cool if all of it was like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna put the thing on and then I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm gonna
now
get
here's
stabbed.
the one thing the CinemaSins guy complained about that I really would like to argue against, and it's like it doesn't make any sense for Agent Smith to get absorbed once he picks up the phone.
Right.
The idea is that he's completely taken over the guy's mind. It's your mind. The Matrix is a representation of your mind.
Because your body's still your body, but this is like a mental, like, because like it said, this is kind of like a spiritual world, not necessarily like a physical. So it's a spirit essentially going in.
Well, when you look at it from more of a philosophy standpoint, it is.
Yeah. So that's more of it, because that's kind of how the Matrix actually is. It's a mental representation of yourself, not actual like there. Like, it's almost like a dream. It's not Inception though, but it's more that rather than, because like Neo, he could literally, if Neo wanted to with his mind, he could make himself into any person. He could do anything, but the thing is, he doesn't actually realize his potential of being able to do that.
Yeah.
Which, they could have had him doing some more learning stuff, which would have been cool, instead of just saying, no, he's capped out. He can't do anything else now.
Well, here's another thing that bothers me. At this point, Neo's arc is kind of done.
Yeah. See, there's no more room for growth.
No, pretty much the only stuff he does for the next two movies, he just learns stuff. He doesn't
He learns more about the world, but he doesn't change because of it.
Yeah, but in the first movie, he actually changed because he learned he was the one.
But that was it.
He went from being a nobody computer hacker to being the savior of humanity.
Which, I guess if you kind of look at it, it almost looks like the first movie should have been it.
Yeah.
And then there shouldn't have been anything else. But then they were like, all right, we got to do something.
Because this movie made shitloads of money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up a mint
but
here.
But see, right there, the counselor dude.
Yeah.
Just like kind of made it kind of more like bringing Neo down, kind of, because he says you are still human, but kind of brings him down to more realistic thing, and how even though he has those powers in the Matrix, he still needs to be cautious and like careful about himself, because he's still a human, even if he is a one. Like Jesus was still one, but he's still a human. So
yeah,
in ways,
I feel like you're making it so much more simpler than the movie's actually presenting itself as.
Me?
No, I mean like you're doing a better job at simplifying it than the movie is. That's my point. You're doing a better job talking.
Hire me up.
Yeah.
Butter me up, sunshine. All right.
No, but like the movie, like especially like this scene, it just go through a bunch of philosophical BS, and nobody excuse me, nobody cares.
Like, kind of. Because in a way, right now, there's no really like, who cares about Neo right now? Honestly, oh, he's the one, and people care about him. But what has he done so far in this movie to make people want to care about him, except beat up 3 agents? And look
when
for
you say
an orc.
when you say people to care about him,
I mean,
you
the
mean
audience.
The audience, yes, okay.
The audience care about him.
Yeah.
Unless you watched the first movie, and even then, it's not this like kind of status.
Well, that's one thing that bothers me, because although there is a running story, and then if you're having a trilogy, you should have everything connected.
Right.
Each movie needs to still stand on its own.
Right. In some ways, like bringing you up to the point.
Not necessarily like you should be able to watch one by itself and that's fine. Like watch the third film on its own.
Right, but if it's been a while, you don't necessarily need to watch the first one to catch up to the second.
No, but I mean, like if you're just gonna watch, like if I just started watching the second movie and I hadn't seen any of the others,
right?
Why would I care about Neo?
Exactly.
I have no reason to care about Neo, other than Trinity loves him, and I guess I like Trinity because she fights really cool.
And this is actually kind of an interesting part right here, where the counselor kind of talks about how, even though he doesn't understand why, or like he doesn't understand a lot of things, because like of course a doctor isn't going to know how to operate a steel forge or know how to run like a food line or anything.
Or a garbage man isn't going to know how to get to the moon.
Right. But that's kind of the point, is that you believe in other people being able to do the things that they're supposed to do or know how to do. Just like, so he's kind of saying, talking to Neo and how people put his faith into him because he's supposed to be the one, and how Neo also needs to put his faith into other people and trusting him.
But my point is, it's not subtle, and at the same time it's too pretentious, I feel.
Like it's too much there.
Like I feel like there should be a sign every time an exposition / philosophical debate scene, there should be like a big sign flashing going, philosophical scene happening right now, you know? Especially when we get to like the Merovingian stuff and the Keymaker and the Architect.
Right.
All of that stuff is philosophical
And why doesn't
stuff.
See, what would have been also interesting is they have Neo ask questions back and make it like have more questions on it. Well, like you don't have to let it all be that one guy, because if Neo's really the one and he's thinking about his position in life, he would be asking some questions. I would be asking some fucking questions. But
well, I mean, he does ask questions. I just don't think they really address what we.
They're the right questions.
What the audience is curious about.
Right. So it's kind of left up to super.
Like the only time it really works for him not to have much of a character arc is if he's kind of the audience's way in. Like we're experiencing everything through Neo, so we feel like we are Neo, and then when he starts talking to like the Oracle or the Merovingian, he doesn't ask any of the right questions, and then he receives philosophical BS answers that we can't really, figure out all what they mean.
Also, that part kind of there. I'm not sure why necessarily. The Smith, what's his name, Bane.
He took over Bane.
But
he took over Bane.
Why he was cutting himself? I'm not sure.
Because he hates human flesh. He says that in the first movie.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea if that's a good enough answer, but that's what I got.
See, that could have been. They could have used that way better. And like they used it there. That could have been nice.
My problem is that's an interesting subplot. Smith takes over a guy and then goes into the real world, so Neo can never escape Smith. Smith is always around,
right? In
any world.
But I meant more of the scarring part. What if like at the end they show Neo and then they also show Bane? What if Bane like had his whole skin like completely ripped off?
Oh, like if he was completely deformed, and he's like, "This is how I see humanity, completely deformed."
Yes.
Ooh. We're already writing a better movie.
You suck, guys. Give us the script.
Yeah.
Hold on, I actually have my own script.
Now, here is where I think the movie should have really started. Maybe have a little bit of Zion at the beginning, but then you go right into him looking for the Oracle.
They didn't need that much.
Yeah.
But I guess they're also trying to extend the movie, which...
Or be like, we need 2 films! We need 2!
And also, they just know where he is automatically.
Yeah, like how do you know where to go?
They're just like, hey, it's here. Okay, cool.
Well, I guess...
Yep, see?
Oh, yeah,
see his bullshit?
Yeah, he's got his Matrix vision.
How could he not see the Oracle earlier? Oh, you see the Oracle.
Well, I think he can see people like that, but he can't recognize exactly what they are. And, like, the world's a big place, so I don't know how he's going to find the Oracle. But this scene is just gratuitous fighting.
See,
And their point is... Well, Neo has to prove he's the one by fighting him. Well, Trinity could do this exact same fight.
Yeah.
Morpheus could do this exact same fight.
What could have been better is more of, like, actual philosophical questions. They could have done that easily. And his answers could have been it.
That's a good point.
Because the whole point is the Chosen One isn't supposed to be all about violence. He's supposed to be about bringing peace
and
to
wisdom,
this world. Yeah. And... No.
It's too much action when it needs to be more about philosophy, and it's too much philosophy when it needs to be more about action.
No, it's too much crap when it needs to be like
about honestly, something good.
They didn't need all that stuff in Zion. Even if there was philosophical stuff, they could have done a much better job.
Oh yeah. And once we get into the third movie, the actual battle for Zion is pointless. It is completely meaningless because the only reason we are watching the movie is to see Neo win, and he's not even in Zion, so we don't care about them.
Mm-hmm. And what would have been the best philosophical thing is if the dude just walked up right to Neo and put his hand on his heart and said, "You're the one."
Oh yeah.
That would have been it. No fight scene, nothing. You just could have done that.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people would have been like, "That's dumb."
Yeah.
But from a philosophical standpoint, it's really that he sees what Neo really wants in his heart.
And he sees what he is, yeah.
And sees who he truly is.
Yeah.
See, what could have been cool if they had this scene and they had, like, one of the Smith guys with him in the Matrix, but he was like, I'm not sure like if the dude goes back in the Matrix, is he a Smith or not? Like if he decides to go back.
Like if Bane gets jacked into the Matrix?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because he never does. He never gets jacked in again.
See, that could have been interesting if he could have been Bane still and then like been with them and then the dude was there and like was like he did the heart thing with Neo and then he sees him and he's like, oh no, or something.
Yeah, like Bane looks like Bane in the Matrix, but he's actually still Smith.
Right.
No. Well, he wouldn't be because when he changes, he
but
could be
I
Smith.
guess he could have changed his mind.
Yeah, he could have changed his appearance.
Because it's a mental
I don't know.
thing.
We're thinking way too hard about that part.
Right.
Let's move on.
Well,
okay.
This is supposed to be a very important scene because he finally finds the freaking
Oracle.
Good job.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Okay, we'll get to that, but we're actually not going to get to that.
Here's probably my most, or the part that I find most interesting about the Matrix trilogy. The Oracle is the linchpin to the whole trilogy.
Right.
She manipulates everybody in such a way as to end the war. She puts all the players in just the right places to do just the right things to end everything.
But one of the things that was just like kind of interesting. I was thinking about how she's like, it doesn't matter what you're gonna do because what needs to happen is gonna happen.
Yeah.
How she asked Neo to sit and he's like, I'll stand, and it's like she's like, it doesn't matter because what you're gonna do is gonna happen. But then he's like, I'm just gonna sit, and it's like, because she knows it's gonna happen no matter what, no matter how hard you try to fight it, it's gonna happen. So it's kind of weird. Because she's literally part of the old system where it doesn't matter, the cycle's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
But
as they say in the third movie, it is inevitable.
Exactly. Just like they kind of say with a lot of things, in a lot of like faith things, like religion and stuff, how it's inevitable, and yet...
Like the apocalypse is
Right.
inevitable. You know, that type of thing.
See, that's kind of cool.
Well, I don't understand how that makes sense from a story perspective.
In reality, the question was good, and then it's kind of like, well, you have to figure out how to make it, like why you made the decision, and it's like, well, now you're just making it philosophical. You're kind of making it too easy just now, kind of.
And if you're not watching the movie, Neo's like, he's asking about the choices that he makes. He's like, how do you know I'm going to make the choice? And the Oracle responds, you've already made the choice. The point is, you're trying to understand why you made it.
Which, in reality, isn't really the thing.
I don't understand that. Maybe I'm dumb for not really understanding. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't understand why she felt the need to say that. I don't know. Oh, I like what she says here. And it is an idea that gets explained a little bit later in the film. But she talks about how the ones that are the programs in the Matrix that screw up stuff or they're getting hunted or whatever is spiritual stuff or weird stuff.
Right.
Like aliens or monsters.
Right. And I guess in reality there's not really necessarily a point to that.
That's just an interesting thing.
Right. Programs hacking programs. See, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of like an interesting thing because it's almost like a virus, like an actual computer, which unfortunately I don't know, not because even machines apparently can't fix everything.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows that, kind of like a weakness almost.
Yeah.
In the system. Kind of.
Here's an interesting thing that the philosophers pointed out in their commentary. As the trilogy progresses, each side really becomes more of the other. Like as we see as the films progress, the humans rely more on technology, especially in the final battle for Zion.
And then
the machines they show them are more human than Neo actually believes at this point. and like they're actually trying to get out of the machine world and get into the Matrix, and then of course they take on human forms in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
See, that should have been that's all of his dream. He sees her fall, gets shot, but he doesn't know if she dies or not. That should have been it of the dream. Just from a film story perspective.
What would have been really cool and also would have played well with it is if he had lied to her and she accepted it.
Oh, really?
And she didn't know. Because then that would have been like literally like a break in the system. Like, wait, that wasn't supposed to happen.
I was able to trick her. How did that happen?
And it's like, so yeah, I didn't see her die. And it's like, yeah, that's right. And it's like, huh. Like, it's literally showing more that this world isn't quite right.
And that way, when he gets to the architect, he's like, I already know this is all bullshit because the Oracle, she believed me when I lied.
Exactly.
I don't know. You might have had to explain that a bit down the road, explain that a bit more, but that would have been interesting.
It could have been a more like kind of an epiphany kind of thing for someone in the audience to figure out and been like, oh, this is the most amazing thing ever.
Or would start leading them to believe that the Oracle and everything, the prophecy, is bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this world it is.
And now she's just giving him directions of who to go.
Here's where you need to go next. Okay, sure.
This part feels like a video game cutscene.
But the thing is, he's going to be at that exact time no matter what, so in reality, she doesn't have to say that. Yeah. Or maybe she has to say it for him to actually be there on time.
No, that's why I resist the Oracle stuff, like the actual I can see the future part. Yeah. I think it's more of she just manipulates everybody and she uses sleight of hand and mind tricks.
But I like her character.
Oh, I love her character.
Because she's a freaking sassy black lady. How can you not like that? Literally, it's a really awesome character.
Now, unfortunately, this actress passed away before they started on the third movie. So they had to recast her and come up with a story reason why she got changed.
It could have been like a glitch in the program.
No, the choices she made in helping the Resistance, she had to change her form, otherwise she was going to get deleted. I think that's the reason why.
Okay, yeah.
But here's something that bothers me. The Oracle walks out, and then suddenly Smith shows up. Why?
Maybe she knew. Because she's the Oracle.
Yeah, I guess, but
she walks out, perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like she would have, and maybe she's supposed to. Yeah. Maybe this happens all the time.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Well, Smith doesn't happen, but maybe an agent or something comes, and she knows of it.
The fact that Neo freed Smith's mind is going to be instrumental in him changing everything. Especially when we get to the third movie and he has to make the deal with the machines to stop Smith.
Something that's very interesting is the fact that the Oracle is supposed to know everything that happens.
Yeah.
Yet there are things that she doesn't figure out, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. But this feels like more of a philosophical debate than we're actually discussing a film, you know what I mean?
Oh, shit. I wanted to say something.
No, go ahead.
This part, he just said how I understood all the rules, but I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which is kind of more of a breaking out of almost like a more like a
breaking
person.
Out of control.
He's more of a person now. He's more like Neo.
He's more like Neo, yeah.
In a way, or any other human where he was in the control of the machines and he decides he wants to break out
because Neo
and destroy the
him.
system just like they do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're conflicting with the same goal.
Yeah.
Which is kind of...
And see, that's interesting. The problem with the movies is there's a lot of interesting ideas, but it doesn't really go together as well as they'd like to think.
Not as much purpose. Because there's kind of like, what's the point of them fighting if they both want to end it? What's their main difference? In reality, it doesn't really show that.
Well, the idea is that Smith just wants to stop everything. He wants to take over everything because that's what he feels he needs to do. Because he has no purpose, so he's just going to take over everything and destroy everything.
Which which Bus Driver is actually really into this thing. It's called nihilism, which is
Nihilism,
nihilism, which is kind of like the belief of nothing, or the fact that nothing matters, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Smith is.
That's one thing I'm afraid of when we get to the Matrix Revolutions, and
Yeah.
I'm with Bus Driver. Like, you know, you and me are already talking about the philosophy stuff. He's going to be talking about that for the whole movie.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm afraid of.
Fair warning. So
yeah, fair warning. I would kind of prefer him just talking about how the technology stuff doesn't make sense.
And maybe you can probably debrief with him before.
Yeah, I'll talk with him beforehand. Now, this fight may be utterly pointless, but it is a wonderful thing to watch.
It is pretty cool.
This is probably my favorite fight scene in all of film.
And actually, this is a much better fight than the fight with the three agents.
Yeah.
Because it kind of shows that Neo kind of can get kicked around and isn't necessarily invulnerable. Well, he might be invulnerable, but he
does get hurt in this fight.
Exactly. Which kind of shows that he's in more danger than before.
Yeah.
But still so badass that.
But here's my problem. Why didn't he just fly away?
He could have, yeah. And there really is no point.
And then at the end of the fight, he does end up flying away.
Yeah. So.
I mean, does he guess? Is he thinking maybe I can stop him here and find out what he's up to?
That would be smart, because if he stopped him there, he wouldn't have to worry about him later.
But they should have addressed that. Trinity should have been like, why didn't you just fly away? He's like, I wanted to try and stop him, maybe find out what he was up to.
Right.
But they don't do that, obviously.
And then this is kind of interesting, that part, where all of a sudden a normal person turns into an agent and Smith.
But like the fact that anybody who sees any of the people from Zion walking around the Matrix can suddenly be an agent, that becomes a big plot hole later on in the movie.
Yeah. What's very interesting, though, is the fact that they kind of just took over a person.
Yeah. And then they got taken over again.
Well, no, the fact of taking over a person to stop Smith, essentially.
Yeah.
When in reality, what can one agent do against Smith
a bunch of
and
Smiths,
Neo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the fact that all these Smiths just come out of nowhere, kind of...
Yeah. Well, it's to show that Smith is starting to take over the Matrix.
I guess, but they could have been there a while ago. But
yeah. Woo-hoo. Or maybe the two Smiths at the beginning of the movie, one of them started fighting Neo, and then the other one was just racing around, finding people outside and sending them in.
Yeah, because what if people were like running away and stuff, or like, and then they just kind of took them over?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now, I know people always complain about the CGI for this part, because I'm sure it looked great at the time, but it is outdated. Like this part,
yeah,
everything looks a little bit too video game-like.
Right.
I'm actually fine with it. You know? It doesn't bother me. Because I realize this movie was made over 10 years ago.
Yeah. Don't worry, we've come a long way. Oh, grab the pole. Oh, let's all wait for him to pull it out.
Did you ever play the video game, The Path of Neo?
No.
Oh, it was wonderful. And they had this scene, and you would fight all of them with the pole, and it was so cool.
Yeah, and from that kind of perspective, it's really cool.
From a video game perspective.
Yeah, but in reality, there's no real point in him fighting Smith at all, unless it's kind of like a show of power, essentially.
And by reality, you mean within the movie.
Right, in the movie, the show of power between Neo and the Smiths, of how Smith is really becoming more of a challenge for Neo, and Neo's kind of struggling to...
Well, I don't believe he's much of a challenge, because in the first movie we show that Smith kills Neo, and then Neo, only after coming back and realizing he's the one, is able to defeat him.
Right, but it's showing Smith's gain to power, essentially, or him rising up.
But my point is, if one Smith was a problem, then how is he able to hold his own against 50, 100, 200, you know?
Right. But I mean, that doesn't even matter near the end, because...
Yeah.
Well, what could have been cool is...
once we get to the third movie, that bothers me, when all the other Smiths are just standing by.
Right. And then this happens, though.
Oh, I love this part. It makes no sense at all, but it's glorious.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I love this fight, and I know we have the music or the
TV
we have the TV very low on volume, but the actual music to this scene is called I think it's called the Burly Brawl. Wonderful music.
And see right there, it kind of showed like Neo kind of trying to escape, kind of like he's like trying to run away almost.
Yeah.
And then he's just like,
But yeah, that's my problem. Like now he decides to fly away.
Or the fact that he could have done this a long time.
Yeah.
See, if he could use that much force to knock all those back,
yeah,
he could have easily destroyed any of those Smiths.
Yeah.
Instead, he's like, no, now I'm going to fly. I mean, maybe he needs space or concentration to fly. That could have been an interesting thing. Like, he needs a certain amount of time to actually be able to pull up the force to do it. Because it seems like it would take a lot of concentration to fly, but they don't talk about it. They don't talk about enough of the important stuff.
But they focus too much on the philosophical babble that we don't really care about.
Right. And that part right there, they didn't show Neo going to where he needed to go. They were just like, all right, he's good, and then just unplugged him.
Well, I'm actually fine with that, because obviously he found a main line and was able to get back.
Right.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
But I mean, like, what if it was like, oh, like, search out for him, and they, like, all, like, are running super fast, like, trying to get to him? That could have been a cool chase scene, and kind of, like, hinting towards...
Don't you know, they already spent all their budget on that fight.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, one thing I would like to mention, when Keanu Reeves, I watched all the documentaries and making ofs for the movies, when he was talking about that fight, he said that this has more fighting moves than every single fight in the first movie combined.
I believe that. But...
No, but he was talking about the intense training he had to do for it. I'm like, I see it. It's all on screen. Good job. But, like, this stuff really doesn't matter. Like, the defense of Zion does not matter.
Right. But they don't necessarily know that.
Yeah, no, I mean from an audience's perspective.
Yeah. No, but to them, of course, it's everything. It's kind of like a, what's it called? Dramatic irony?
Yeah, dramatic irony.
Where we know they can't make it, but, I mean, honestly, why wouldn't you try?
Oh, that guy right there, the guy who's talking, that counselor, that's one of the philosophers.
Oh.
For the philosopher's commentary, he makes a cameo.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What, you're not a freaking, what is it? This isn't Star Trek. You're not Spock. you can show emotions, you're human. That's kind of the point.
That's my problem. He's too one-dimensional. He doesn't have anything other than anger.
In a way, the whole council is like that.
Well, they're just bland.
Like, yeah, they should have showed more, like, contrast, because that's really how a council is.
Especially politics today. They need to disagree a little bit.
Exactly. But they're just like, yeah, we all agree.
Yeah, we agree. We believe in the one.
Yep. And it's like, and then some dude just stands up and says something for no reason.
Yeah.
Just 'cause. Shut your hole, Bane, before I put you in one.
Hey, that doesn't look like Tom Hardy. But I'm done.
Yeah, you're damn right. Boom. You said a man, not a woman.
Well, that's something that kind of bothers me. Like, they do that in Lord of the Rings, and I think it works a lot better in there.
By the way, I snapped in a Z formation. You're welcome.
When the Witch King tells the girl, he's like, no man can kill me, and then she's like, I am no man, and then she stabs him. I like that part's cool, but like they try to do something like that here, and
but they didn't jump on it. They were just like, it'll be cute.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
In this part.
How can none of these people turn into agents right now?
I think it was more the quantity of Smiths.
Like, that called attention to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, that's super, like, it's like a code red.
Instead of them just walking around, it's like...
Right. They're kind of under the radar.
We're looking at the mainframe, and there's a lot of activity going on in this area.
Exactly.
Okay,
that makes
works.
more sense than, We see a few like kind of high people,
we
but
see some
nothing too
BDSM
serious.
people in latex and leather walking around.
Right. Not just some weird cult. Which this part's kind of
Well, that's one thing that kind of bothers me, just from like a logical standpoint. Why are they wearing that getup if they're trying to hide themselves?
Well, in a way, putting yourself as an outsider can actually separate yourself and make you under the radar. Which,
Yeah, that guy right there is going to be important in the third movie.
Okay, but yes, as I was saying, people who can do that, you kind of tend to overlook some people who dress kind of like that,
Or you try to avoid them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Basically, they're putting themselves as exiles or outsiders, which
they are.
Exactly. So that kind of plays in a little with the story.
Now here we get to the Merovingian and his hot-ass wife Persephone.
Yes.
And here's where the philosophical BS starts to drive me nuts. And I say it's BS only in terms of the audience. I'm sure if you're a philosopher like the guys who did the commentary, you'll appreciate a lot of this dialogue.
Or if you actually sit down and think.
Yeah, or if you like read a book about it and you're like, oh, this relates to that. I find this interesting.
But for the like kind of the normal average person watching,
if you're like,
really,
I wanted to see an awesome science fiction action sequel to The Matrix.
And this isn't it at all.
Yeah.
And we got some sex scenes. That was nice. That was good. But
like here, I think this is the best way I can say this. They spend so much time trying to focus on either a philosophical scene at one time or an action scene at another time. They need to blend it better.
Right.
Like, it really feels like philosophical scene. Okay, that's over. Action scene. Okay, that's over. Philosophical scene. Okay, that's over. Action scene. You know, it feels so disjointed like that. You know what I mean?
And see, this guy right here asked, why are you here? That could have been a good question for the other guy. Who was it? I can't remember that.
Smith?
No, the other dude. The guy with the white...
Oh, Seraph?
Seraph. Okay, yeah.
The Asian guy, yeah. Seraph.
He could have asked that question, why are you
The
here?
Oracle's protector.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't he ask something like that? Because that's a very common philosophical question. And that could have easily blended in. Or what if they were fighting and they're asking questions at the same time?
Yeah, I would like that better if instead of like just, we're going to hit each other now, if it was like mixing a little bit of dialogue with it.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we just make like our own like movie, or let's like make like a freaking like cartoon.
Make our own fan fiction of the second and third movies.
It doesn't even have to be this. It can be anything else, and we can do a much better job. I'm sorry.
Well, I wouldn't say we could do a much better job. I mean, I do enjoy these movies. I enjoy them a lot, actually, but I do recognize the problems. I don't hate them as much as most people do. Most people do not like these movies. Like, some people think the second one's alright and the third one is just god-awful. I think they're all okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do recognize the first one is probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
The second one I enjoy watching the most. But, I don't know. Maybe I just like being different. Can you explain this part? What's the point of this part?
In reality,
where the lady has a cake orgasm?
Okay, what this is kind of showing is how programs can be very unique and interesting, but it does it in a very weird way. But see, it's kind of like showing like humans can't truly understand like the power of a program. And sees like, this is a very simple program I just did, and I just gave it to her, and all of a sudden she's doing this. Like, she's kind of freaking out.
I don't know, but the Merovingian's talking about like emotion. He's talking about like the reason and everything doesn't matter. It's just what happens.
But he's also talking about how she's also like trying to fight back her feelings, or things that are going on. But in reality, he's saying that we should let go and we should experience what we should be experiencing instead of holding back. Which, no. With a cake orgasm.
That's, I don't know, it's just a very weird way to do it.
Yeah. Which, I guess in a way, because they're talking about how he's a man of power, so it could have been like kind of like a lust or kind of thing. Like his amusement in seeing some, like a lot of men are very weird with certain things and fetishes about women. So this could have been something like maybe he does this all the time where he gives cake to random hot girls and he likes to see kind of like his power affecting
they
them.
do show later that he does cheat on his wife.
Oh my god, am I a freaking genius? No, I'm just some normal kid. Alright. See, he could have done anything right now where he could have used violence, and he chooses not to, though. But, except later when they do. But
His wife is so attractive.
yeah. Oh, cause and effect. Oh, boy. Random Asian dude. Random other people. Creepy.
I like that line. How do you know?
Oh.
How do you know it went exactly as
Hey,
it said?
how'd you get
We're
down
still
here
alive.
by taking the stairs when we were in the elevator? And you left at the same time as us, and you like,
I
went
don't
in
know.
different direction. Okay. Okay. Okay, hot lady.
Her line there actually is kind of my feeling toward a lot of the scenes in the movie.
Unfortunately.
Pompous prick.
Oh yeah. Hey, there's a lot of philosophical stuff in the third movie that we're not.
Oh,
gonna
it
get to talk about.
gets even more intense.
Oh man. Oh well.
No. You don't want to be there for that because your bus driver's gonna go nuts.
Well, maybe we should have switched.
Maybe. No, I actually think he'll be good for that one. A good choice, anyway.
Maybe. He might have been better for this just because, I don't know. I guess there's just kind of, it's a bunch of junk.
It's a bunch of junk. That's your review of The Matrix Reloaded. Quote, it's a bunch of junk. Unquote.
In reality, it's just a bunch of crap filler that they do for no reason.
But at the same time, like, people say this is boring. I don't find it boring. Which I find kind of weird. Like, even the BS philosophical scenes.
Right.
I don't find them boring.
Well, I guess for an average or someone who's just looking for a sci-fi action movie, watching a scene where two dudes are just talking back and forth and there's no real point, it would be boring.
Have they never seen a Quentin Tarantino movie? That's all those movies are, and they're great. Oh, come on, man. You're kissing Monica Bellucci. Put some effort into it. It's not that difficult to kiss her.
But it's supposed to show that
he
really
truly
cares,
loves Trinity. Yes, I know the point. I get it.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
then
like,
he's also putting his faith in... Well, he's trying really hard for humanity past Trinity's sake because he wants to save humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So he's showing essentially his love for Trinity by putting that towards humanity.
I feel like you're
by kissing.
I feel like
girl.
you're overthinking it.
My mind hurts. But so far, we've made this movie go a lot better than the review did. Like the movie sins.
Or the Cinema Sins video? Yeah.
Because it was like, no, this is just pointless. This is pointless. And it's like, well, it kind of is, but there is...
But there is a reason they put it in there. It may not be a good reason, but there is a reason.
The only scene that's pointless in this whole movie so far was the very first one.
Oh, I was going to go...
literally the very first thing in the movie where...
With the motorcycle crashing and everything.
There's no point.
Yeah.
But this rave scene, I mean, it's really stupid.
But there is a point to it.
But there is some point, at least.
Yep.
So, yeah. Hello.
Come on, man. She is scorching hot.
Yeah, you're damn right. What's really interesting is the fact that that key is supposed to take you like anywhere, right?
Kind of, yeah. I guess they see
And
that,
the
yeah.
fact that they go there, and the other guys are able to get there also. Oh, no, never mind. I remember now. This is why.
Yeah. Now they're supposed to be werewolves. And they prove that because she shoots one of them with silver bullets.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's actually kind of interesting, where it's kind of like they have a use for kind of like a throwback to older Matrixes. And actually, she just mentioned older Matrixes.
Yep.
Yet that's not supposed to be revealed until later on in the movie.
Well, I don't think they realize each one's like a brand new start. I think they just mean like the Matrix gets upgraded. You know, like how we get Apple upgrades.
Yeah, I guess.
iTunes upgrades.
Okay, I guess.
I think that's...
Right, but that could... Well, yeah. Because in reality, everything would have been erased and then scratched.
Yeah. Or restarted, yeah.
Right. Which, in reality, it kind of would be really interesting to see older versions of Matrix, like older variations of Matrixes, rather than like versions, like upgraded versions.
Do you say it like you do in math? Is it matrices?
Like, maybe. I don't know. But like the very first one, imagine how that would have been.
I would like to see what all the different incarnations of the Matrix looked like. Because they never showed that. I mean, obviously they say there's been like 5 other incarnations. But I want to see what they look like. That'd be cool.
I know, because it would be completely different from anything. Because literally it'd be like, the machine's like, oh, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, let's put ground, I guess, so they can walk. Okay. And then the human's like, the fuck is this? It's like, oh, let's make it look different. Like, essentially, the evolving of the humans, like,
trying to make it more and more realistic to human life.
Which, in reality, there isn't really a point, because something I'll take from Inception real quick, just for purposes. It was from Inception, where you don't really realize something's a dream until you wake up. And in this, it doesn't matter what world they would have been put in. They would have thought it was the real world until they got unjacked.
Yeah.
So in reality, it could have been anything. And in fact, it wouldn't matter at all.
It could have been the Star Wars universe.
Exactly. It could have been anything. And it wouldn't matter. But I guess they had to make it look like this instead, just because, I don't know.
Well, the architect explains later they want to make it look as close to human history as possible. That way, more humans would accept the program.
But there's no point.
I don't know. We'll listen for the architect's explanation later.
Right. Okay. Fight scene. Cool fight scene with.
And apparently, according to philosophers, this fight's representative because there's a bunch of statues and they're about powerful figures in history or something.
Yeah. The horse, some horses, some warriors, and what's actually interesting is the fact that the guys pick up weapons that are on the walls, and all wall weapons are decorative, and basically means that they're really useless, actually. But it's the fact that they're using useless weapons, really, against Neo, which is kind of dumb. And also the fact that Neo uses, essentially, pointless weapons to fight them back, kind of. I don't know.
You might be reading too much into it on that part.
Yeah, it might be a nitpick thing or something, but that's kind of how... That's actually, like, a real thing where...
Yeah, like most weapons
are just decorative.
They're decorative items, yeah.
They're not really meant for
They're
combat.
not meant to be used to stab somebody in the face.
Right, because they would be dull. They wouldn't have any edge.
Now,
they'd be unbalanced.
If he's able to use force powers to get the size off the wall, why can't he use that in other instances?
Or use it to toy. Essentially, he should be toying with these guys, even though they are supposed to be programs. How are they any better than agents?
Yeah.
And yet he's having a tough time with them? So, in reality, he should be almost toying with them and maybe experimenting with the new powers he's gotten. Or tried out.
I want to keep a tally on how many times you say in reality.
It'd be a shit ton.
You're saying that a lot.
It'd be more than don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining fight, but like I said earlier, it would work better as a YouTube video than a 2-hour movie.
Right.
Because at this point, why do we care?
Exactly.
Because obviously Neo's going to beat these guys. We still have an hour left in the movie.
Right.
Like, there's no threat at all that Neo's not going to survive this.
Well, I mean, there technically could be something that happens that's like,
there
man.
could, but there isn't anything that happens.
Right, and that's kind of why this is essentially a pointless fight.
Yeah. Well, all the fights are pretty much pointless in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, he finally stabbed someone. Good job.
The only meaningful fight in the second and third movies is when Neo fights Smith at the very end. And that's simply because it ends everything.
Yeah. See, that would have been a cool scene if he put the spear up and he skewered all the guys, and then he just drops them and looks at the dude, kind of like, yeah.
I just did that.
Because really, Neo should be an incredible badass, but right now he's kind of getting his ass kicked.
No, he's not.
I mean, not
Bam!
now. Now he's fine. But he was kind of getting his ass kicked. Or he was in trouble, let's say.
He was having issues.
Yeah. Whereas in reality, it should have been.
See, that's where he first says something that hints at that. He says, I have survived your predecessors.
Which is kind of interesting. So he's a program, is he?
Yeah, he's a program.
Okay, so that's why. Ooh, ghosties.
See,
samurai sword.
The CinemaSins guy talked about how it would be a lot more interesting if Neo had to fight these ghost guys.
Right. And
I agree with that.
Yeah. But instead, I think it shows more of a challenge for them.
I mean, yeah, it does, of course.
Well, whereas Neo's essentially just getting distracted. In reality, there's no point in him holding the door open if he can just go through the door.
Yep.
And then, oh, ghost dagger. Which it's actually a shaving knife, which is actually kind of interesting. Because it's dumb, because it's not effective yet. Yeah. Step away from the door, even though there's no point. And then he can heal and just... So there's no point. There's no point! There's no point in Neo having... I mean, Morpheus having a samurai sword or a gun, either way. Oh, let me...
Yeah, no, it's almost like the Wachowskis are asking you to think about the movie. They want you to think deeply about it, but if you start doing that, you find plot holes and problems and inconsistencies.
See, what could have been interesting is, hey, the programs can't do the invisible thing all the time. Like they have.
Why can't they float into the car just then?
Yeah. Exactly. Or there. Why couldn't he become solid for like a moment and kill her? Even if he got disfigured, he could heal himself back.
Yeah.
Oh no! Damn it.
See, that's why I like the little moments where they actually show that they are, human. Like, especially this half the stuff Link says. I like the character of Link.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that they have him in here instead of the guy who played Tank. I think Link is more interesting.
Because he's more of a kind of like a middle ground, almost like an average person put in this scenario.
He feels like a member of the audience.
Right. He's like, what the fuck is going on? But in a reality, this is kind of a really... And if you were outside of the Matrix and you were in this situation, this would be really crazy.
Yeah. Of course.
So, yeah. Let me shoot you. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
That's your bus driver's job to do the pew pew noises. You can wait for him to do the third one.
I'm sorry, I was watching Filthy Frank, and that messed me up. Oh yeah, one of the things the Cinema Sin guy talked about was if they can make other things turn invisible, why couldn't they just make their car invisible? And that would have been even more of a challenge. Literally, the car could just come up through traffic.
They show that they can fly. Why can't they just fly into the car?
Because they have to have a cool chase scene.
Well, then they shouldn't have set that up anyway.
Exactly. Turn right now. It's GPS, man. Ooh, an Escalade. And see, there, he's kind of getting caught up in his emotions, or like talking about, oh my gosh, what's going on? But he's like, stay calm and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Don't think, just do, essentially. Yeah. Oh no.
I love this car chase. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but I love it.
So how does he even know she's even...
Slow-mo shot!
Yeah, slow-mo shot. How does he know that she's even remotely close? Well, I guess she could figure that out.
Or he can see her signal in the Matrix.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how would she be able to, like, essentially be right where they are right when she gets in?
Whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't poke your head out, you idiot. What's also interesting is how that Morpheus and Trinity haven't gained any kind of powers from realizing it's the Matrix and stuff.
Well, I mean, they have, but it's not nearly as much as Neo.
Right, but like certain small things, like essentially what could have made this very cool is the fact that they are fighting people who are extremely like more powerful than they are, but using their skill and like essentially experience and knowledge to be able to outbeat them rather than having the powers.
Yeah. Which
doesn't really get shown. Instead, they're just like, woo, we're shooting guns and oh, cool flip. That doesn't do anything.
Hey, where's the traffic behind them?
Hey, that's not our line. Ah, no traffic. There's traffic the other way, though. Ah, time to finally go after you. Wah. Wah, I'm going to touch this guy. Oh. Oh.
You gotta admit, if from like a mind-numbing action scene, this is entertaining.
Yeah, this is very, what's the word I could use? Intense. There we go.
Okay.
And see, right there, can he use certain body parts to go invisible, or does he have to go completely invisible?
I think he has to go completely invisible.
Which, in some ways, can be advantageous, where if he needs to keep a hold on Morpheus, or he's holding Morpheus, and he doesn't want to turn invisible, and then Morpheus all of a sudden, or someone else shoots him, and he goes through the car, because he has to dodge the bullet, or he gets hit. And then that's just mindless action.
Yeah.
But this part's very cool, because not only do you have a twin, you're also having an agent on you. While you're trying to drive, while there's another twin knocking stuff over, while there's other agents coming after you. It's very intense. And there's all the traffic.
Yeah, the traffic showed back up.
Woo! Random car flies forward for no reason, but it's okay. We're going to shake this agent off, even though he could break the windshield already. Or you just do that. Oh, they just magically gained their speed back instantly from a stop? That's good. See, there you go. See, that's that part I was talking about that they needed.
Yep.
Which they did it, which was nice. Okay, I'm happy now. A little. And that's kind of interesting. Almost like they're like a similar being. I don't know where he got that deagle from.
Oh, agents always have deagles.
Oh, okay, then never mind. I guess that's a program thing.
Yeah, they had that in the first
I was
movie.
thinking that if they were like they got it from the cops. Cops don't have deagles, of course.
No, that's exclusive to the agents.
Oh, okay. No,
agents have Desert Eagles.
Okay,
yes.
because I was just gonna be like, that's kind of a nitpick thing, but in reality, it's kind of dumb because cops have Glocks and stuff rather than a Desert Eagle because it's stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that they kind of just slide and stop. Why don't they just do something else? Anything else?
No, because it's part of their plan.
Oh, okay. Wow, convenient. Car is convenient.
Convenient car. Car is convenient. All right.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to make it because they should have jumped like 2 minutes earlier.
Oh, but wait, they're towards the front of the truck now. Never mind.
Well, they were kind of near
the power of editing.
But then he's like, don't worry, I'm going to distract them.
No, here he kills them.
What?
Watch this. Watch what Morpheus does to the ghosts.
Yeah. What? You serious?
Yes, I am serious. Watch this.
That wouldn't do shit. And then they're like, oh no, it's about to explode. Why don't we change? Nope.
No, that kills them.
Okay. Yet they changed afterwards.
Yeah. Has this movie broken you yet?
I refuse to be broken. But there wouldn't be gas in those.
Would there not?
No. Why would you put gas in a motorcycle on top of your car when there's no point?
I don't know.
Because in reality, the only reason moving motorcycles, you're just moving it for storage purposes, and it's going to go into storage. Why would you move something that has gas in it to storage? You would have pumped the gas out and used it for something else.
Good point.
Sorry. But
good point.
Convenient. Motorcycle convenient.
Yeah. For the purposes of the movie, I guess that's fine.
For a cool action scene, it's fine.
Yeah. No, but if we're going by the logic that any of these humans can become agents, why don't they all become agents and then crush them? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
What's also interesting is understanding, they don't necessarily explain how they become agents.
Oh, I love this part, though, when she starts driving backwards.
Yeah. But they don't explain why they become agents. So what if it was like a Matrix part, like a program in the Matrix? So couldn't they technically make them into agents also?
What do you mean?
Like actually turn Trinity or Morpheus into one because they're in the program.
No, but they're not being jacked in from the machine.
But it's still a part of a program. So technically, if they're in the program, you could still do it.
I don't know. Maybe there's a reason. I'm not.
But they don't explain that. That's why.
Yeah,
they don't explain why they can't be Trinity.
Obvious CGI vehicles are obvious.
Yeah. Anyways, there are a lot of things in this movie that should have been explained, and they don't.
Yeah, they explain things that don't need to be explained, and then other stuff that you want to know about goes unexplained.
And Morpheus is just on a truck, heading towards them, perfectly on time, and just puts his thing in there.
And through the power of editing, the samurai sword is at different lengths on the truck.
Convenient. Oh, and he throws him perfectly onto the truck, and he actually would have flown back a little and probably fell off.
Probably.
Hey, exile. Hey.
What?
We used that word earlier.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we were talking about exiles.
Yeah, right.
So,
but they're referring to the keymaker.
Oh, okay. Which, I guess, because he's an exile program.
Yes, he is.
But it's just interesting that they used our word. Hey, there's no samurai sword. But they used our word.
No, because it's still hanging on the side of the truck.
No, it wasn't on either side.
Oh. So what you're saying is...
They
They goofed. They done goofed.
Oh, hey, it's right here. No, it's still not there. Never mind.
So what you're saying is they done goofed.
Yeah, they done goofed on a lot of things, but it's okay.
See, that's the thing. Like, some people are angry about the second and third movie. I'm not angry about them.
It's just, it's not really angry. It's more kind of a little disappointing.
Yeah, I'm more disappointed and kind of confused
as to why they did that.
Or what was the thought process behind a lot of the stuff that they did.
It could have been like, oh, hey, it's wiggling right there.
Like, they had... The first one came out in 1999, and then these ones came out in 2003. So they had a 4-year period. And I don't understand how they couldn't have come up with a better story.
Right. I mean, things change, I guess.
They've claimed that back when they planned it. Oh, here's a samurai sword that's back at a length that Morpheus can reach. But they hold to the point that they had it planned as a trilogy from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
But I really doubt that. Mm. Or if they did, I think they had like a few bullet points for how they wanted the second and third movies to go, and then when they actually wrote the script, they didn't put a whole lot of thought into it.
Mm-hmm. That was actually kind of interesting. While Morpheus was fighting, he grabbed the dude's tie, which ended up saving him, and then after that...
And then now he's cut it.
Yeah, he cut it, like, after he fixed it.
Yeah.
Which was kind of how, like, programs are kind of trying to, like, stick to the program, kind of. But yet, they can adapt. So, like, in reality, if the dude just saved himself from grabbing your... okay, convenient.
Convenient?
The fact that they were able to...
Okay, you're not picking up on the mic at all. BROWNWOOD NINJA has to answer the phone right now. I'm sorry about that. So, continuing the chase scene, everybody. Yeah, Niobe conveniently is right behind Morpheus when he just happens to fall off. Which I'm sure was all part of what the Oracle was doing. She probably talked to her and was like, you need to be here at this time. And you'll just happen to catch Morpheus. Hey, he killed an agent. Oh crap, he transferred into another person.
Did I miss anything important? Anything at all?
Convenience of catching Morpheus on your car is convenient.
We already knew that.
Yes, we did.
Where's Smith? Yeah, why doesn't Smith show up? Come on, Smith. All this activity going on, and you're like, no, I'm going to sit this one out.
Because Neo's not there.
That is true. But in reality, if he had grabbed the keymaker...
In reality.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just it's funny.
He had grabbed the keymaker, he could have held him hostage, and then Neo would have to come to him.
I don't know, at a certain point you gotta stop questioning the plot holes in these movies, because you're just gonna keep finding more and more.
Right. But yeah, no, that was just a thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah. Woo! Super explosions.
I love this shot.
CGI. Woo.
That would have given them like severe whiplash. They would both be dead.
Yeah. Oh well. Good enough.
Now, I want to go ahead and restate. We don't claim to be extremely knowledgeable about philosophy or anything.
Nope.
We're just trying to figure it out for ourselves, exactly why these movies are the way they are. Like, if some of you, are having problems with what we're talking about, because they're like, oh, that's not how it is. Well, we don't know a whole lot about philosophy, so... We're not saying we're right in what we're saying. We're saying, like, this is how it could be.
We're trying to figure it out,
yeah,
too.
We're trying to figure it out. This part's so confusing. Because the keymaker's like, oh, here's this place, but it's so convoluted how you get here. And then it ends up even making less sense once we get to the architect. And I'll explain why it makes less sense when we get there.
What?
I guess Neo's starting to see the light through everything now.
Shut up, no one cares.
No, he didn't say bomb. I don't know, what did he say? I was trying to come up with something clever for him to have said instead of bomb. I couldn't come up with anything.
No. 30. Okay. You know what? 350. 350.
So I guess would we officially call it the start of the third act of the film? I would say that. Yeah, I would say it's the start of the third act. How does he know all this?
Because he's supposed to know it all.
No, but that's a BS reason. That's not actually saying anything.
Yeah.
That is just the Wachowskis going, ha ha ha, aren't we philosophical?
Thing is, he is a program, so in reality, there's not necessarily someone who tells him or anything. It's kind of just sitting there.
It's just programmed within him to know that for some reason?
I guess so. But in reality, that wasn't too terribly complicated. They're just like, alright, all you have to do is just take out this electricity system. There's no electricity, and there's no alarms, so you can get in easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's like, okay.
Or they could have just been like, there's a ridiculous amount of guards, and Smith might be there. They could have just said that.
That too. But they had to make it convoluted for normal people. Oh, and they have to reference the clock back then at the stupid thing.
In the beginning of the movie?
Because they're talking about the shift change.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Which, in reality, there was still no point in having the very first scene still.
Yeah,
Except for referencing that. And how, oh no, this part right here is going to be close to where Trinity's going to die. Maybe.
No, I mean, showing that stuff once Trinity goes in for real, I mean, I'm fine with that. But I mean, at the beginning, I think you're showing the audience too much.
Yeah.
I think I am starting to understand the feeling that everybody has, that it feels like the Wachowskis are just being condescending down to their audience about philosophy and stuff. Which I don't think that's their intention. I just don't think they thought it through very well.
They were just like, sure, this idea is great, and they didn't kind of
They just put a bunch of good ideas that they had in a blender and then threw them out, and then that was the product.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of diamond in the rough. Like they were like, "Hey, this looks really cool. Let's just do it and not like buff it more to where it could be what it should.
Yeah,
what it can be essentially. But don't worry about it.
I agree with you.
It is what it is, and it can't be changed, and it's still going to happen no matter what.
Well,
blah, 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 blah.
It could be changed, but
that's not for us, apparently. Not our cycle.
But it'll never be a movie.
Not our cycle. Whoa, stupid jump that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay. But it looked cool.
It looked cool, didn't it? Hey, let's... Wait, okay, what's it doing? It's like plugging into like something and then through something and it's throwing it at the ship. Okay. And some crippled dude's running. Oh no!
And he died, and then he got stabbed. I don't know, I'm starting to lose interest in this movie, man.
Well, that's kind of like a... Well, the fact that the dude died from falling off a friggin' broken ladder, bridge is stupid. But the other dude getting stabbed makes sense.
Well, it's all just a bunch of conveniences so that they force Trinity to have to go in.
Right. But a guy dying from falling... Yeah, it's dumb. That part's fine, but the fact they fell and died is dumb. Unless they did that, and it blows up and kills everyone. Well, that sucks.
See, I think... Here's where I think the Wachowskis are being lazy. They have a bunch of conveniences in the plot. They're just like, philosophical dialogue, it's not convenient, but it kind of is. It's whatever. Don't look over here. Look at the cool fight scenes. You know? It's very baffling. I would like to sit down with them and actually ask them some questions. Of course, I probably wouldn't get straight answers.
Right. Uh-oh. So one block doesn't go out and they're like, oh no.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've gotten to the point where my brain stopped processing information. I had this feeling when I watched Transformers 4. When there was like half an hour left in the movie, my brain stopped.
Okay, that power station blew up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, don't worry, rerouting the power system even though the whole system just blew up.
Well, I'm sure they're talking about it like emergency power.
But it all blew up. You can't just say, oh, we're rerouting the power. No, your power doesn't exist. That's the problem, you know. You're like, sure, we can put some words on a computer and that means that's going to happen.
And Smith is conveniently there for reasons.
And somehow he got in.
Yeah, how'd he get in? Did he have a key? Does Smith have a key? That would make sense as to how he can get everywhere. He would have a key.
Or, well then how come agents aren't in there?
Fuck.
See? See? What I'm thinking is...
They didn't think it through when they wrote the movie?
Maybe... No, what I'm thinking is maybe Smith saw Seraph or could feel that presence and maybe he found him and was able to, like, I don't know, do something.
Let's see what he says here. Oh, we're not going to get a straight answer at all.
Still using all the muscles except the one that matters.
I mean, it's good dialogue. I like the dialogue, but it doesn't do what it needs to.
You're funny. Oh, fuck. And they...
But how'd they all get through the door?
Yeah.
Is that... Are we gonna put that under the blatant plot hole area? How'd they get through the doors without the key?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, held it right there, little lady.
Yes, because it's exactly the thing you want to say to a girl wearing leather. A woman wearing leather.
After you watched a bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Join us. Join us. Join us.
Oh my.
Morpheus. Gotta save you. I just know what it is. Yay. Yes. Si, senor.
Like, I feel like a couple more rewrites to the script would have helped this a lot. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. But oh well.
Like, get a couple of outside people who love the first Matrix, but they know how to make a good logical story, and they come and read it, and they help you with some ideas.
All of a sudden, woo, kicks them all through, and all of a sudden just flies through them. And then, oh, now they pull out guns.
Yeah, now they decide to pull out guns.
Except they can block bullets, so what's the point in using guns? Apparently he got shot, though.
Well, I do like that. It wasn't just like, oh, Smith and his guys can't even aim their guns.
Except they couldn't. Really. But... oh, it was meant to be.
Because...
even though
it happened.
Technically, Neo could have closed the door with his force thing, but, you know, don't worry about it.
Don't think about it too hard. I know I am.
You'll know which door. Hurry, Neo. So technically, it wouldn't matter what door he picked, because it'll be the right door.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, no, here's the thing. He sees the door of light with his Matrix vision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like this.
Well, that showed up because he put it in, not because...
well, we don't see his vision beforehand, how he sees it.
Right. See, that could have been an interesting thing where he's thinking about the Oracle and how it doesn't matter what he's going to do because what's going to happen is already happened, and it doesn't matter what he picks because it's going to be...
quit it! You're ruining my brain!
I know. How do you think I felt for like the first hour or two of this movie?
And now we get to the most mind-numbing part of this movie, which is the architect.
All right. I've prepared myself for this, so...
let me go ahead and explain what I was talking about earlier about things not making any sense.
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. All right.
He created the Matrix.
Okay. Now, the architect talks about how he set this whole thing up. He's supposed to have this confrontation with Neo. He's supposed to have him here. That way he can give him the choice. Either take the door to the left or the door to the right. And, each one leads to different things. Why would you make it so difficult and so convoluted for him to show up there in the first place?
If he's supposed to be there anyways.
Oh, your friends have to blow up the main power thing, but then they have to shut off the emergency thing, and you only have a 5-minute window. And Smith's going to conveniently show up to stop you. And why would you make it so difficult if he needs to be there to talk to you, and you know that?
Hey, there's a scene from the first Matrix.
Oh, yeah, they have scenes.
Actually, it's his whole life.
Yeah, it's his life.
Oh, interesting. But,
oh, and this part angers people the most. I don't know if the architect has already said it, because I'm not paying attention to the dialogue at this point. But he says, because you are human, some things that I say you will understand.
he already said that, yeah.
Some things you will not. That is the Wachowskis going, dumb audience members, or whatever, if you don't understand it, it's fine. It's fine. No. We need a bit more, focus on the story than that. Now, this is the most interesting idea of the movie, I think. That there have been 5 versions.
And no one knows about it.
Yes, because every time they start over.
Right.
Zion gets destroyed, and the one has to get, 20, 25 people out of the Matrix and start over.
They did say that. You old white prick.
More references to CinemaSins.
The problem is choice. You're damn right, Neo.
Yes.
Oh. Random agent is random.
Why did she go for the elevator?
Yeah, she could have just jumped down.
But Link told her to get out of there immediately. Why'd she wait on the elevator?
Or stairs.
Why didn't she just jump off the building? Or jump across? She can jump across skyscrapers! They've done that before!
Okay, he said the first one is flawless and sublime, a triumph equaled only by some crap.
But how much it failed? Because the fact that it was perfect, humans couldn't accept it. Because it was perfect.
So, basically, how it is they make something so perfect they have to continue to bring it down, yet in
They
reality,
have to make it in such a way that humans accept the program. And the easiest way to do that, or I guess the best way to do that, would be to base it on human history, because humans have already experienced that.
Except they haven't, because you wouldn't have any knowledge of it. Because when you're born, whatever.
Yes,
you're
I
in,
know, but I feel like the human brain would work a lot better just starting off in a world that other humans have already existed in, than something that's been made by machines.
Yeah, I get that what that's saying, but literally, if you had everyone start off in, like, let's say a floor, like literally it's a floor.
I get your
right.
idea. I see what you're saying,
right?
But I feel like you could argue it either way. You just have to go with their logic, their interpretation of it, their perception of it. Other words that I can say.
Okay. Fine. Ergo. Okay, come on, Colonel Sanders. Let's go.
But that's the interesting thing. He's like 99% accepted the program, but the 1% would always get out, which would be the people who die on. Which is why every once in a while they have to start it over again, because that 1% becomes such a threat.
So in reality, has he told all the other ones the same story?
Yes, and he's given them the same choice. That's what I get from this conversation. He's had this conversation with every previous one, except for the part about Trinity. He brings that up, because obviously they talk about how the other ones didn't have a single human that they cared for, like Neo has with Trinity. That's one thing that bothers me.
It's kind of like, really, it's like a game, almost.
No, not that part.
I mean the fact that they're like, we could survive without you. We don't need you. We could wipe you if we really wanted to. And it's almost like, then why do you have us here in the first place? Why do you have us...
My point is, what's your fuel source if you don't have humans?
Right, but if he's saying that we don't need you...
Then why do you have them?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there.
And I like that he says this is far more specific, as in that he's a lot more of a real person than the other ones that have come along, so that makes him different.
Yeah.
So even though they were given a choice last time, does that mean that they were chose to save the world or destroy it, and they always chose save? But now he has save the world or save her, which is also the doom of the world.
I'm not sure. I can't explain that one.
Well, actually, no. He did say it. He's like, you can go back to the Matrix, or you can go back. But there wouldn't be any motive to go back to the Matrix for the other ones. But he has Trinity that he needs to go for.
Yeah.
So that's why. The other ones would have been like, yeah, of course I'm going to save the world. And they go in there. But maybe that's the whole point. And that's how the cycle keeps going, is because they keep going back in.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's like, no, I'm going to break away. Because in reality, I'm not sure.
Here's one thing. I keep saying there's one thing that bothers me. And I can't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Once we get into the third movie, and obviously, as I said before, Trinity ends up getting killed. Him saving her at this point really is pointless.
But it breaks the cycle.
I mean, yeah, but still, she dies. It would have been much more... I don't know.
Because the thing is, had Neo let her die and saved the world, he would have led the cycle back, so there really wouldn't have been any point.
My problem isn't that he saves her right now. I'm fine with that.
Right.
That the fact is she dies in the third movie.
Right.
Which is stupid.
It's stupid, but it's almost like now Neo has a point of not letting her die in vain.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
in either way, whether she died or not, Neo still would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, either would have been before where...
oh, this looks cool.
Yeah, this looks cool. Even though I don't know why everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Or was it talking about like the minutes or whatever, and how I guess everything's being destroyed?
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't explain it. Oh well, cool fire scene is cool. Except he'd been going a lot faster when he was going.
When he was saving Morpheus and the Keymaker.
Right, but apparently no, and apparently she's moving a lot faster, gravity-wise, than he is horizontal. Even though he would definitely have already hit her by now.
Yeah.
Especially that fast. Oh, the bullet still hits her though. See, I guess technically, if Neo could technically stop the bullet from where he was, no matter what, because if he can do it right in front of him, why can't he do it anywhere?
I don't know. Why are you asking me these questions?
See, I gotta ask the tough questions. You know, where are my pizza rolls? Why isn't this hoe texting me? Oh wait, never mind. My phone was on silent. For the sake of the movie.
For the sake of the commentary. For the sake of the children.
What children? Oh wait, hold on. Hold my hand. This bullet is still inside. Is that what you call it now?
Oh my god. Well, I do like how it is a you know, it's a kind of callback to the first movie because she saves him in the first movie.
Right.
Except she gives him the magic kiss that brings him back to life.
Right, except the fact that his hand wouldn't have hurt her. Oh, I guess the bullet moving would have hurt her. But in reality... Okay, I say in reality, but... If Neo could go through her, couldn't he make the bullet also become what he just did? Yeah. Oh no, she's dead. No, I can't let her die. I just freaking saved her.
You know what would be really interesting? If the Wachowskis had a good logical response to everything we've asked, and it just isn't addressed in the movie.
Then they're just crappy scriptwriters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh.
He actually restarts her heart.
Which, this part is... okay. We'll just go with it.
I can go with it.
I'll just go with it, because... I don't know. I'm just having complications with thinking of how he's doing that. Because he has to be able to make his hand essentially go through her, but be able to pump her heart, but without cutting off anything else.
It phases through her like skin and her ribs and stuff, but not her heart.
But
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. It's a program.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that wouldn't work because it's, as we talked about earlier, the Matrix is a mental thing, and her mind would have been gone by then. So pumping her heart in the Matrix wouldn't do anything because she's dead in the Matrix. So in reality, you would have to do it in the real world to do anything. Oh, so that's just a big plot hole. Okay. That's actually like the biggest plot hole in this whole movie. Wow.
That's the biggest thing you have a problem with.
No, because literally you can't do that.
Yeah.
So...
It's your mental projection. How are you able to restart your heart if it's a mental projection?
I guess if if your mind is still there, so if your mind feels like your heart's pumping, it's pumping, but that's really dumb.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. The Wachowskis ask you to think about it deeply, but when you do, you find all these problems.
I'm sorry. I know it isn't easy to hear, but I swear it's the truth. Neo, your wise words of wisdom have helped.
They transcend the content of this film.
What are we gonna do now? I have no fucking clue. oh, they're suddenly here. Suddenly, out of nowhere. And they have this weird little ball thing that they shoot out.
That they didn't even have in the first movie.
Yeah. How do you know that, Neo? How do you know they have a bomb? Why are you grabbing guns? There's no point. You should be running and moving the thing. Oh, okay, you're running out.
Yeah, they're escaping.
Oh, okay, that's why. I thought they were supposed to be moving it.
No.
But if that's a machine, then as soon as it goes in the EMP thing, it's going to turn off. So, why does it matter? Damn plot holes. It's like they gave up in like the last 30 minutes. They're like, this is too boring. Fuck this.
Or they actually tried within the last 2 minutes, because this is... The twist at the end of this is... The cliffhanger is actually pretty good.
It was like they were going through it and they're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, fuck this. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we can like Hugh Super Epiphany. And they actually did good. Like this part, this was my favorite part. Right here.
Like, Neo has reached a new level of enlightenment. That's the idea.
Which kind of coincides with the first movie.
Yeah.
Of how he's reached a new enlightenment.
Yeah. But it's not part of his character. It's just like he leveled up in a video game. It's more like that. That's what it feels like.
It's not even that. It's like he didn't know he leveled up.
And he's just like...
He's all of a sudden, wait, I can feel them.
Wait.
What? Are you high?
Wait, my gun is golden? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's literally like that. Like, he doesn't even notice, and it's all, oh, I got it. And all of a sudden, do. Which, I guess this is supposed to be more of how his character is even more enlightened than the other Neos. Because I don't think any of the other Neos could do that, but we don't know, of course. Because no one in the Matrix would know about that.
Yeah.
And no one in the real world would know about that.
Yeah.
So
only the Oracle would know.
Well, maybe, but...
Which, of course, I guess we'll get into when me and the bus driver talk about revolutions.
Right. Oh, conveniently go overlooking.
They conveniently show up, yes.
Yep. I think this, like, the coma part is very interesting.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah. But
I mean, of course, that's all stuff we'll get to in the next commentary. Unfortunately,
right.
You won't be here, so... Now, here's something I would like to go ahead and say, because this is a plot hole if you think about it. So their plan was, well, they're all away, doing the goofy stuff with the Keymaker and everything, that all the ships were going to go and EMP the machines. They never say it was all the ships. They sent in all the ships to do this. But of course, Bane screwed up the whole plan. All the ships got destroyed except for a couple.
right.
So when it gets to the third movie and they're preparing the defensive Zion and everything, and you're like, well, the commander Locke was talking about getting all the ships back. That's what he talked about for the whole second movie. But there are no ships there. So
Also,
what's the point?
They didn't talk about... They said they found one survivor, and it turns out to be Bane.
Yeah.
But they don't say how. And honestly, I would have been suspicious as fuck.
Yeah.
And then to be concluded. Wow. You guys. Fuck you, Wazowski. Mike Wazowski.
Wachowskis, yes.
Wazowski. Fuck you, Wazowskis. Well, I'm not sure what the fuck happened.
I'm not sure how to feel about this movie, because I do find it very entertaining, but...
At the same time...
There were a ridiculous amount of problems.
Get your shit together, guys.
I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure, though, because I feel like there's more to it than that. A guilty pleasure I would define as the Transformers movies, where there is literally, like, nothing redeeming, but you still find it entertaining.
Right.
But this, I still find there's interesting stuff.
There's interesting stuff,
but
if
it doesn't
you want to
go,
look for it.
But it doesn't go together well.
Like Transformers, even if you want to think deeply about Transformers, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But this movie you can.
But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's only if you want to.
But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The internal logic of this movie doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, as an audience, we have to take everything with a grain of salt and know that...
I know there's a suspension of disbelief with every movie you see. Trust me. 4 megaton nuclear bomb. I can get through that with Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
But this has so many problems with it. They start to pile up, and small stuff creates a bigger problem.
How do you think Plinkett feels?
Actually, whenever he does a video talking about, like, what's my next review gonna be, these movies always show up.
And why do you think so? Because
there's a lot of stuff to
there's
nitpick
a lot
and
of things to
complain about.
nitpick about.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a bad movie.
Well, I would call this a bad movie.
A bad movie?
Yeah, I would call it a bad movie. The internal logic of the movie doesn't make sense. Half the stuff in it doesn't connect well.
Right. But you can say that for a lot of movies. You can say that for a lot of popular movies.
Yeah, I never said a lot of popular movies were good.
Exactly.
Well, let's go with the obvious example. Avatar. I don't think that's a good movie at all.
But that's the thing, is that,
Although I think that plot holds together better than this.
Right, but I guess if you think enough about something, you can essentially just destroy it.
Oh, yeah. That's why most of your favorite stuff, you watch more of it more and more, and then you find more and more problems.
For some things. Some things you don't, because some people watch something and they're kind of glazed over kind of watching it, because for some things it's really cool watching stuff.
Yeah.
And you just don't care because you really enjoy the movie. And that's really what we should be doing.
Yeah, like Dark Knight Rises. I know I keep coming back to the same examples, but people keep going over plot holes. Like, this movie's terrible because it's got all these plot holes. But it's got a strong story for the most part, and it's got good characters that I care about.
Right.
This has good characters. I would not say it has a good story.
Right. No, the story is not... Well, the story as a whole is interesting, but it's not necessarily
But specifically,
good.
when we're talking about this part of the trilogy, it's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
The next one, there's parts that are good.
No, the next one still has problems, but I think
there are story parts that are better.
I think it holds together better than this
as a story.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us on this magical adventure.
This was very different from Blue Wolf's commentary, the first one that we did. So I think that's good. We had a bit of a different experience here.
So as you can see from the first movie, now moving over to the second movie, there's differences, just like in our commentaries. It's like poetry. It rhymes with it.
Shut up, George Lucas. Okay.
Hey, don't say his name. We'll get sued.
He who will not be named. Okay, do you have any final thoughts on the movie before we go ahead and close it out? You got nothing?
I kind of broke down a little.
Okay, everybody. I guess that's it. I don't really have anything to say or anything else to say. This was ARO 007.
Brownwood Ninja.
And this was our commentary for The Matrix Reloaded. Stay tuned. Hopefully, sometime in the near future, your bus driver and I will do a commentary to end this trilogy with The Matrix Revolutions. Okay, thanks, guys. See you next time.
A very weird concept.
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird by nature. But that's one thing I would like to point out. For most supposed movie trilogies, well, not most of them, but some of them, they do the first movie, it's really successful. Then a few years later, they decide to do the second and third movies back to back. They film them together, and then they release them a year or half a year apart.
Right.
They did that for the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie, or the second and third movies, I mean. And it makes it feel kind of just disjointed as a series, because the first one's by itself, and then the second and third ones feel like one story.
Right.
So it feels like you're getting two separate stories instead of a whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Because, the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie has nothing to do with Davy Jones or the Brother in Court or anything. And I don't mean to keep talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, it's just, I find each of these trilogies are very similar in, the way they were made and stuff. Mm-hmm. And with this one, the first movie doesn't even talk about how the end of the war is this close, how the machines are drilling and stuff. But that's really what the second and third movies are about.
Right. Actually, this part was actually kind of interesting because it was kind of talking about, well, how Neo is in the dreams and how there's actual concern for each other and how kind of there's actual something about.
That's one thing I will say about the Matrix movies. The relationship between Neo and Trinity is very good. It's strong. Like, I actually care. And inevitably, of course, we're spoiling all three movies right now. Once you get to the third movie and she gets killed, you do feel that. You know, it actually means something, and like his emotion and how he, you know, experiences that is very depressing once you think about it.
Okay, let's watch this real quick.
Well, here's where they just put up some exposition about how the machines are digging and how Zion leadership wants all the ships that are out in the real world to retreat back to Zion. Actually, I think that was the biggest expectation that they could have tried to achieve or exceed, which was showing us Zion.
Right, but
I mean, I think it works. I actually like the design of Zion and everything.
yeah, I think it's cool, but it's over exaggerated.
Yeah, it is over exaggerated, and well, a lot of people don't like it. Like, some people think it's kind of dull. There's not a whole lot going on there.
Well, yeah, but also, well, in reality, they should have done a lot of things where they're building stuff, like machines. Like, they do show the mechs and stuff, but they don't really show, like, them building them and, like, doing all that stuff, like, being prepared for a battle. That would have been really cool.
They don't really show them preparing for the battle other than, hey, we're getting in our mech suits. And, of course, that's in the third movie.
Right, so that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But if they were, like, showing that there's actually a struggle going on and they're needing to do this, like...
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our commentaries here at Storyline Films. This is A-Road007.
From...
What's your name?
Oh god, I'm not ready.
I'll go ahead and introduce him.
BROWNWOOD NINJA.
Okay, I guess you will. Obviously, if you clicked on this video, you figured out we're doing a commentary to The Matrix Reloaded, which BROWNWOOD NINJA is not very excited about.
My mind hurts already.
Now, obviously, if you haven't figured it out already, this is not the movie that we've put on YouTube for you to watch. So quit being an illegal hack and go buy it yourself if you want to watch it.
It's cheap as shit at fucking Best Buy, you fat cunts. God damn.
Instead, we are doing a commentary/podcast. Obviously, you can watch the movie alongside us as we talk about it. So if you do have a Blu-ray copy or a DVD, go ahead and set it up. Get it right before the Warner Brothers logo shows up. It should be completely black on the screen. And I guess I shouldn't really ask, are you ready to start, Brownwood?
Prepare to share in our pain.
Okay, so everybody start in 3, 2, 1, start.
I already have tears.
You already have tears. Now, obviously, if you've been on our channel before, you would know that Blue Wolf and I already did the first Matrix movie, and this is part of a series I wanted to do. I wanted to do the first one with Blue Wolf, the second one with BROWNWOOD NINJA, which obviously we're doing right now, and then the third I would do with Your Bus Driver whenever we get around to that. So, let's start off with a couple of questions, BROWNWOOD NINJA. What is your experience with the Matrix films?
Well, I actually really like the Matrix films, and the second one is my favorite, probably, I would say.
Yep.
Third one's really good, though, but yeah, definitely the second one's really good, but we just watched a review, like a quick, what is it, Movie Sins?
We did the Cinema Sins Everything Wrong With video, and at the time that we're recording this, they just recently posted a video for The Matrix Reloaded. And we just watched that right before doing this commentary.
It hurt.
Not the best idea.
It hurt so much. My brain couldn't keep up.
Well, you have to realize half the stuff he talks about in those videos are nitpicks.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean...
But some of it is general criticism, which of course we'll get into during the course of the commentary.
I mean, with stuff, you're always going to have errors, but I mean, there are some things that need to be fixed for certain movies I agree with, but you got to deal with some stuff.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we're going to go heavy spoilers here. We're going to spoil what happens in the movie because, of course, this is a commentary.
And you're watching it with us, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously, this is a dream sequence to start off that will...
Imagine if, like, they were sent out to go and get scraps so that they could build more stuff.
Yeah.
That would be something up.
It would be something.
It would be actually relatable or something like that. Or like, oh, a scout ship got destroyed, go check it out. Or something like that. Or something's wrong.
Yeah.
Or blah, 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 blah. Stuff.
But, you know, they raised this timetable. They're like, the machines are digging and they're going to be here in 36 hours. But I don't really feel that rush, you know. Like the ticking time bomb, as it were.
Well, yeah, but in a lot of movies where there's like, all right, in a certain amount of days this is going to happen, you never really feel it until it hits it, but that's kind of how in real life it kind of is, where you're not expecting it, and it's like, hey, a bomb's going to drop in 3 days.
You know, like, I still got 2 days.
This bomb is mobile.
I will say that Dark Knight Rises, that is a reasonable argument. You don't really feel the ticking time bomb aspect of it until it gets to that final few minutes.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
oh shit.
But it's like 1 month went by. Yeah. And it's like, well,
now,
okay.
Can you tell me why he's not Agent Smith anymore, we'll just call him Smith, why he just shows up and is he toying with Neo? Because couldn't he just come in and kill these guys and then talk to him?
He could, but there's no point. Instead, he's just doing
But there's no point to just toying with him.
Well, he could have killed him anyways and left that, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe because he's breaking out of his program and he's trying to mess with him, but then all of a sudden agents come in. See, that's kind of weird. If Smith was literally right there...
That is one thing. There are a lot of conveniences where, like, right as one thing ends, another immediately starts.
So you don't have time to think about it.
Like, right after Neo talks to the Oracle, Smith just happens to show up.
In this part. Which, now, I mean, this is kind of cool in some aspects.
I mean, the choreography is excellent. I love the fights.
Right.
Like, but it would work better as, like, a YouTube video all in itself, you know? Like, a 5-minute fight.
Right.
Instead of being put in the context of a movie.
As a story.
No, because Neo is so overpowered at this point, we don't fear for him getting hurt or anything, because we know he's going to kick these guys' asses.
Right. Well, actually, would have been interesting if Neo was actually messing with him, because as it is, he's so overpowered.
Yeah.
It doesn't even mean anything. He could have been like walking out while they're trying to hit him, and he's just dodging everything, and then just flies away.
Yeah. Why didn't he just fly away?
Well, of course, beat him up because all the guys aren't all the guys in there, and they could have all gotten.
Yeah. I guess the leadership is still downstairs.
Right, but he could have literally been walking away while they're trying to hit him, and he knocks them all out in like one punch, and then flies off. But instead, and then Smith comes out of nowhere.
Now, I do like this idea that Smith can take over other people in the Matrix, like other bodies, because in the first movie, I don't know if you remember when he's interrogating Morpheus and everything, and he's talking about how much he hates the humans. He talks about how they're like a virus.
Right.
They take over everything, they deplete all the resources, and then they spread. That's exactly what he is now. Which I guess is dramatic irony.
Really interesting right there was Neo said they were agents.
Yeah. But
then Smith comes up.
Yeah.
And one of the other agents is talking to him? Or is it a Smith?
No, that was a Smith.
So were they all Smiths?
No.
Then how...
The guys that fought him were agents.
So where'd that Smith come from? They just...
plot hole. I don't know.
Just a little.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, things just show up and it's not explained or even addressed.
Like, imagine if
it
Smith,
just happens.
If Smith walked up and all of a sudden just, like, did something and turned them all into Smiths and then, like, figured out what's
going on. Like, if the agents burst in the room and suddenly Smith comes in and takes them over and then a bunch of Smiths fight Neo then...
Well, you know, that kind of happens, but...
Well, I mean, that happens later, of course, but I'm talking about, like, right now.
Right.
To make some sense of the plot.
Where are you? Aren't you kind of like, you know, you have, like,
that's so
God mode
weird.
on?
Like, he's suddenly now looking for the Oracle. Why?
And what's interesting is he's supposed to be able to see people... Oh, and I don't get this part. But anyways, he's supposed to be able to see people in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And he can't find her?
I don't know. Well, no. Well, he can't see people through the Matrix himself.
Oh, I thought... Yeah, he could.
Well, he has the vision where he can see, like, everything through the Matrix.
Isn't she different? Because it shows that she's golden, isn't she?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't remember that.
In the third movie, I think it does.
See, that's the problem. There's
But,
too
yeah.
much arguing and speculation you could make about a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't get this part. I don't get why. Why do they
Yeah,
have to be
the
in
Gates
a-
of Zion, they have a program within, like, they have their own computer program where people go in and they operate all the gates and stuff.
I guess that makes sense, but you don't have to be in it.
That really feels like something they're just like, oh, this is cool, let's just put it in here. Rather than it makes sense.
Rather than explaining it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the human mind can't actually control like it normally, so they do it in the program and they have people upgrade it. And what if they did that? What if they had training programs in there and they could have people become like Neo?
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
My
Well,
head.
one thing that they can't have the people that are naturally born in the real world go into the Matrix because they don't have the plugs and everything.
Right.
So
But if they're plugged in because they have to be in that program,
they're obviously people that have been freed.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah. Good point.
My head hurts more and more. But don't worry.
We're only just beginning. We still have like 2 hours of this movie.
All right. Okay. Cool little sci-fi thing with all that stuff.
I love the design of the ship. I don't know if I said that in the last commentary. I love how the ships look.
It's very unique because it's also very. It's actually smart because in a reality that has perfect like.
Will end up happening in the future. What do you think about it starting here, as a dream sequence?
Well, of course, it looks really cool.
Yeah. The Wachowskis always make stuff look cool.
Right.
And just like the first movie, we start off with a cool action scene with Trinity.
Well, actually, now that I think about this, thanks to all your movie review stuff, there's really no point in the cops fighting her in the first place, because all she did was drop down in a motorcycle. There's no point in them actually trying to beat her at all.
You mean you're saying the audience shouldn't care because all the people
I'm saying that
are
part,
pretty much invincible?
No, I'm saying that part is pointless completely. There was no point, and then all of a sudden this happens. But that's just because it's Skippy and it's a dream.
Yeah.
But there was no point in the cops doing that in the first place, unless it's a dream and nothing matters. So I guess so. Yes.
Well, I think the dream sequence should have started right here, and right here we're talking about the when they dive out of the building and the agent is shooting at her.
Right.
I think they should have just started right here. That way you go, what the hell's going on? Why is she? What's happening?
Exactly. Because honestly, the other scene didn't matter at all.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Oh, I mean, it starts you off with a good action part.
And as the CinemaSins guy said, apparently motorcycles are made of C4 because it blew that whole building up.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that just because that doesn't really matter to me. I don't care about the explosions. It's more about the point of it exploding or having anything happen in the first place. But yeah. One shot.
Well, I think one thing we'll realize in this when watching this, pretty much like the first half of this movie is kind of pointless.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's really once you get into like him talking to the Oracle, that's when the plot, starts getting set in motion. But right now,
well, I guess in some way it's kind of pulling you back to the world that they're in.
Yeah, and they're showing you, what you may have missed between this and the first movie.
It was some time afterwards.
Yeah, I think they say it's like 6 months, I think, after the first movie.
I thought they was talking about the second and the third, but...
Oh, no, the second and the third movie start, like, right together.
Oh, no, I meant... Oh, okay, I didn't mean in movie time, I meant for the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Watching. It's been a while, so...
One weird thing I would like to talk about. Now, the second and the third Matrix movies were made at, like, the exact same time. And they were released in the same year. The second movie was released in the summer of 2003. And then the third movie, I believe, was released in, like, October or November of 2003. Now, have you... I don't remember anything being done like that. Like, released that close together. Except for, like... maybe Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, but that was clearly one story.
Yeah, that's actually not...
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's very weird. But then again, Matrix is, of course,